Hey, good morning, everybody. Derek here from BOM Socks with more BOM Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ, one bite at a time. Last week, section 76, massive section. We spent one section was the entire week as we went through the 3 degrees of glory and everything with all of that. I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't get a chance to see it, go back and watch them. There's some great things in section 76. So this week we are covering 77, 78, 79, and 80. So 4 sections, and they're a little bit less heavy in the doctrine. They require a little bit of storyline to understand as well. This all, in fact, takes place in March of 1832. So this is where most of that takes place here. In fact, let me read to you just the opening statement and come follow me with regards to these, because I like some of the stuff right here. It says, less than 2 years after the Church of Jesus Christ was restored, it had grown to over 2,000 members and was spreading quickly. You're to a point where the church is starting to experience some of those growing pains that come with that. In March of 1832, Joseph met with other church leaders to discuss church business, the need to publish revelations, purchase land to gather on, and to care for the poor, which is in section 78, section heading. To meet these needs, the Lord called on a small number of church leaders to form what is called the United Firm, a group that would join their efforts to advance the cause of the Lord in these areas. In fact, let me pause for a minute right here. Now, this United Firm, I would invite you to just look at the other part of the Come Follow Me manual, because it actually tells you what the United Firm is, because that's kind of the context here. As you've got this growing church, you've got the needs that are growing as well. It says the United Firm was established to manage the church's publishing and business affairs in Ohio and Missouri. So it becomes the point where your church is growing so much, you got to have something taking care of those business parts of it. It consisted of Joseph Smith, Newell K. Whitney, who was the bishop there in Kirtland. He was a store owner, had some business expertise, and other church leaders who combined their resources to meet the temporal needs of the growing church. Unfortunately, the United Firm fell into debt and was dissolved in 1834 when the debts became unmanageable. Now, what you can do, there's actually a couple really good articles if you want to read about the United Firm. In the Revelations and Context, you've got Newell K. Whitney and the United Firm, and then you've got just in church history topics as well. Now, with regards to that United Firm, there's a cool statement here back in this original part. And I think this is something we definitely need to understand about our day as well. But even in such administrative matters, these matters like the publishing of the Revelations, purchasing land, and so forth, even in these administrative matters, the Lord focused on the things of eternity. Ultimately, the purpose of a printing press or a storehouse, like everything else in God's kingdom, is to prepare his children to receive a place in the celestial world and the riches of eternity. And if those blessings are hard to comprehend right now, in the midst of the busyness of daily life, he reassures us, be of good cheer, for I will lead you along. I don't know what your mind does when you start thinking of eternity, but my mind starts kind of getting crazy because we have very finite minds. And so when you're starting to think of this no beginning and no ending to God's works, it really, I know it hurts my brain a little bit. So the Lord's purposes with even these administrative things is to help still build up the kingdom of God to a point where he can bless the lives of all of his children. I love that. I love the way the Lord takes these temporal things and it still turns around and blesses people's lives. I mean, you see all of the different business things that the church is involved with. It is to help build up the kingdom of God. And I testify to that. I know that's absolutely true. So anyway, I hope you enjoy that this week as we go through section 78 through 80. You're going to see the Lord's hand in all of this so well. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. See you tomorrow with section 77. Godspeed. Bye-bye.